Let's go back to the properties for the border lock again. And so we've looked at all the basic properties for how this side of it sets up. There is a option here for the multiplayer, meaning multiple players. You have check for players on screen, you have check for players with the same team IDs, meaning that if you have like 2 or 3 characters and you just simply want to keep them in the scene, but those are the only ones you want to keep. And then you also have the option to choose which team ID they belong to. Okay, so let's go ahead and set this up so you can take a look at how it works. The first one, check for players on screen. We'll do that one to start with, and then we'll do the other ones after that. So let's go ahead and go back out here. We'll put in a second character. So let's go ahead and go to, actually we'll just use this character. We'll drop him in over here. And for this character, on the player, the joystick ID, we'll say it's going to be 1. That way we have a 2-player game for it. Alright, and what the first option was that we can use both characters and automatically move them off for it. So when we push play, when either one of them trigger the camera lock, when I go over here to try to get out, I'm locked in, which also means when I move this character over, I'm going to be locked in as well. Alright, so that's going to be setting it up so that the first player, let me go to the property so you can see it while I talk about it here. So all we're doing is saying that when you trigger it, it's going to say who's on screen, so which characters are currently visible on screen, and it's going to automatically use those players and set it up to lock for them. Alright, the other option is to say that, and you can use both if you want, you can say any player on screen at the moment and any player with the same team ID, which we currently have set to 0. Alright, so we could also say we only want to check for team ID, and we only want to check for the team ID of player 0. Okay, so if we do this, what we're saying is in player options, we have a ID element to it, and the team for both of them is currently set to 0. I'm going to make this one team 1 right here. Alright, so that means is that when we push play, we'll be able to have so now we'll have, when this player, either player triggers it, this one's going to be able to stay in the scene, it's locked, but the other player right here, when I go through, actually continues through it because this one is on a different team. So meaning that if you had an enemy or you have somebody that you don't want to be locked in, then he may even have a special ability that allows him to leave the borders of the screen, whereas this one gets locked into the screen. Alright, so the basic setup for being able to enable multiple players and having it kind of understand who can leave and who can stay.